Hello everyone and welcome back to the final game on Court B of game week 3 PTC Therapeutics Premiership, where you join myself, Ryan Sipple, for this fixture between West Bromwich Albion Throstles and Villa Rockets. A really closely contested fixture typically in games gone by. Be really interesting to see what the outcome is of this one. Now we've got a break in play. Go through the team lineups very quickly. In goal for Throstles, adorning that green goalkeeper jersey, Barris Innell. In the centre, John Dixon, with wingers of Jonathan Davis and Lucas Christa. Villa Rockets, that of Hamza Madir, Amir Ali, Summer Rice and Daniel Kay. Tough weekend for Villa Rockets. They started with a really impressive 2-0 win over Sevenoaks before, certainly in their eyes, a disappointing defeat to Newcastle United Foundation. They were 2-0 up and cruising their way to 3 points before a late onslaught from the northeast side. 3-2 to Newcastle, that finish. Summer Rice has an attempt at goal just wide. Their first game of today was against league leaders Aspire, in which they were unfortunate to lose 3-0. So a win here would see them take 6 points from a possible 12 across game week 3. Of their 12 games, they've won 6, drawn 2, lost 4, and are sitting on 20 points. So absolutely no threat of relegation, but they were sitting very prominent towards the top end of the table at the start of game week 3. Try and bring up the table so you can see where they stand currently alongside West Bromwich Albion Throstles. Dan Kay with possession of the ball, down to Summer Rice, sends it towards the Throstles goal. Just going to try and guide it out of play. He has to be alert. Amir Ali in support, attempts an effort to goal off the back wheel of Amir Ali. As you've just seen, Villa Rockets with this potential result would finish the weekend on 21 points. We bring up the bottom 6 table so you can see whereabouts Throstles are currently playing their football. As Hamza Madir advances out the Villa Rockets defensive structure to pressure John Dixon and Barris Innell. Summer Rice in support. Danke really deep in his top left-hand corner. I always suspected it would be a closely contested affair. It's proven to be that way in the first 5 minutes of action. Three points separate these two, certainly as it currently stands, as Amir Ali has possession of the ball. Bypasses Jonathan Davis. Four-game weekend for West Bromwich Albion Throstles saw them take 3 points from their opening game against Manchester United. 2-0 that finished for a close 2-1 defeat to Newcastle United Foundation. The scoreline more favourable than the actual performance. Newcastle fairly dominant in that one. They were much better in a 2-1 defeat to West Bromwich Albion earlier today. And now they play Villa Rockets. So of their 12 games, they've won 5, drawn 2 and lost 5. currently sitting on 17 points as Jonathan Davis attempts an effort at goal. Please note that at the conclusion of game week 3, we will be conducting a team of the weekend poll, a standout player of the weekend poll, and an unsung hero of the weekend. That can be found on the WFA social media, where players, coaches, match officials and WFA representatives can vote on the team of the weekend. 4 players, 2 substitutes and a coach you believe to be the top performer across game week 3, and some individual accolades up for grabs as well. I know a few that are in for a shout for that standout player of the weekend award. Considerations for me are Ethan Fisher and Lee Armstrong for Newcastle United Foundation. They've had a fairly faultless weekend. Valentino Zegarelli and Chris Gordon for West Bromwich Albion, Brad Bates and John Balding for Aspire, just to mention 6 who have really caught the eye of myself and others on the commentary. Aspire currently live on Court A. If I can bring up the current scoreline of that one. Aspire lead Nottinghamshire by 2-0. So they're going to have a faultless weekend. Not only are they yet to lose or drop points, they're yet to concede a 7-0 victory over Hull, a 3-0 victory over Manchester United, a 4-0 victory over Nomad Knights, before today's fixture saw them take a 3-0 victory over Villa Rockets, and now they've starting to assert their dominance against Nottinghamshire. They've just scored again, so incredibly impressive as Aspire pursue a second successive National League title. Here it remains 0-0 between West Bromwich Albion Throstles and Villa Rockets. On paper, there's little to separate these two teams, and their performance is matching that. 9 minutes gone. Just waiting for that real moment of quality. So options on the bench. 3 for West Bromwich Albion Throstles in Jack Ebanks, Oliver Rock and Amy Wharton. And for Villa Rockets, single substitute of Daniel Ball. As Hamza Madir passes it to Summer Rice, to Daniel Kay. Didn't quite have the accuracy, so possession given back to Jonathan Davis and Throstles. Summer Rice into Amir Ali. John Dixon with possession in the centre. Lucas Christa unable to make anything of that attack. Goal kick awarded to Hamza Madir and Villa Rockets. Cushioned into the side of Amir Ali's chair. He's going to just try and dribble his way past John Dixon. Can't keep it in play. Christa into Jonathan Davis. Advantage played by Carolyn Bean. Otherwise, a 2-on-1 would have been awarded in favour of Throstles. The attacking pressure still there. Lucas Christa has to vacate the space on that left-hand wing to allow Jonathan Davis to operate. Does so brilliantly. Flicked back to John Dixon. Beautiful pass to Christa. The best passage of play we've had all game. Cut out by Villa Rockets. Jason Christa on the sideline with the head in his hands. I think he acknowledged that being the most credible opportunity they've had so far. John Dixon has the task of preventing Amir Ali from advancing any further up the court. Daniel Kay. Summer Rice. John Dixon trying to flick it over to Jonathan Davis. Well cut out. Contact between Dixon and Summer Rice. Summer Rice comes away with the direct free kick. Taken by Amir Ali. Can they capitalise? 8 minutes to go in this first half. Really good opportunity for them to open the score, and it looks like Dan Kay will take responsibility. Amir Ali just inside the Throstles box. Summer Rice at the far post. Daniel Kay into the box, cleared by John Dixon. Lucas Christa set away, but brilliant work from Hamza Midir to just anticipate that ball coming into the half of Villa Rockets, just to relieve any potential danger. One of my favourite players in the division, Hamza Midir. Another Villa Rockets ball. Summer Rice into Amir Ali. Christa. Good work from Summer Rice. Couldn't quite get the angle on the flick over to Amir Ali. So Barris Inal, for the first time this game, is going to enter the Villa Rockets half. Really strong. Jonathan Davis trapped in that top left-hand corner. Has to be incredibly careful and vacate very quickly. Otherwise, a 2-on-1 will be awarded to Villa Rockets. Play is still live. Barris Inal and Hamza Midir, the two designated keepers of Throstles and Villa Rockets. It's the latter that comes away with possession. Very congested. Summer Rice and Barris Inal both having to vacate very quickly. Starting to just stagnate a little bit. I always suspected that they would cancel each other out, and they're doing that so far. 6 minutes left to be played. John Dixon down to Lucas Christa, controls it beautifully. Can he get a flick away to one of his teammates? Hamza Midir comes across to cover. Summer Rice has to drop off quickly. It's a strange game. The intensity goes from fairly slow to really quickly in a matter of seconds. That's why you're seeing these 2-on-1s being given away so frequently. There's players in the centre that are just being trapped. John Dixon into Lucas Christa, trying to flick it over to Jonathan Davis. Good work from Daniel Kay. 5 minutes to go. West Bromwich Albion Throstles 0, Villa Rockets 0. Amir Ali flicked over to Summer Rice, couldn't get the power, otherwise Villa Rockets number 9 would have been set away on that right hand wing. John Dixon now putting pressure on the defence. Dan Kay taking the role of pivot with Hamza Midir while Amir Ali was absent. They've regained and resumed their normal positions now as Amir Ali has possession. John Dixon over to Lucas Christa, attempts an effort at goal. 4 minutes to go. Over to Christa. A tame effort into the side of Hamza Madir's chair. Weaves past John Dixon, puts the play into the side of Summer Rice. John Dixon very strong in the challenge there. Very end-to-end, but not much purpose in either attack as Danke tries to find Summer Rice. Beautiful pass from John Dixon, not before. 2-on-1 is awarded in the favour of Villa Rockets. Very interesting to see if either of these sides opt to use substitutes on their bench or change their tactical approach in the second. We still have 3 minutes remaining of this first half. Nothing to separate these sides in way of performance and or scoreline. Danke. 2-on-1. John Dixon and Barris Innell. Barris Innell just left the Throstles box. And a really good opportunity. 2 minutes left on the clock. Indirect free kick in a very favourable position. For the taker. I'm just trying to understand whether it's Daniel Kay or Amir Ali, or a combination of the two that will take this. Amir Ali puts it into the path of Daniel Kay. Follow-up effort from Amir Ali, cleared off the line by Barris Innell. John Dixon trying to dribble out of danger now. Lucas Christa will do well to vacate that space. John Dixon advancing on that left-hand wing. Strong challenge from Amir Ali prevents it reaching the winger on the left-hand side. Summer Rice. 1 minute to go. Throstles 0, Villa Rockets 0. Dixon. Jonathan Davis dispossesses. Been fairly isolated in this first half. It's attacking now. John Dixon surely too close. Advantage played. Just got caught napping a little bit on the edge of the Villa Rockets box. Now has the duty to defend. We have the last 10 seconds. Surely the last opportunity of this first half. Can Villa Rockets make it count? This would be a perfect time for them to take a 1-goal advantage. Danke to take Amir Ali in between the chairs of Christa and Barris Innell. Summer Rice at the back post, just into the side of John Dixon's chair. Carolyn Bean looks at her watch, has the whistle in her mouth. Fired into the box, out of play. And that will surely be the last action of the first half, and it will. West Bromwich Albion Throstles 0, Villa Rockets 0. Join me shortly for the second half. Hello everyone and welcome back to the final half of action of game week 3 of the 23-24 PTC Therapeutics Premiership, where you join myself, Ryan Sipple, for this second half between Throstles and Villa Rockets. We are underway. You can probably tell my voice is slowly depleting. Done all but one game this weekend. Been doing either Court A or Court B. Nothing to separate these sides in the first, nor was there any real credible goal-scoring opportunities. Throstles line up as follows: Barris Inil in goal, John Dixon in the centre, Lucas Christa on the right, the left as you're viewing it, and Jonathan Davis on the right as you're viewing it, the left for Throstles. Villa Rockets start with Hamza Madir as the most defensive of the four and the designated goalkeeper. He typically pivots and switches with Amir Ali, who's currently in the centre, number 99 on the left, readying herself to take this kick in, Summer Rice. And on the alternate winger, who she picks out, Daniel Kay. Neither has opted to look at their benches thus far this game. As Amir Ali just tries to scoop that up the court. John Dixon comes away with the kick in. Lucas Christa, the most credible option down this line. He actually not necessarily there on the pass from John Dixon. Amir Ali allowed to dispossess. Jonathan Davis now out of play for a Throstles ball. John Dixon into Jonathan Davis. Hamza Madir trying to bypass John Dixon, unable to do so. Just crying out for a real moment of magic. Summer Rice now with a potential opportunity, receives possession on the left-hand wing. Too forceful from Summer Rice. Excessive force and a foul as deemed by our central referee, Carolyn Bean. Dixon into Lucas Christa. Down to the edge, John Dixon can't quite get the angle to generate any real opportunity from that pass. We've had 24 minutes of this 40-minute fixture, and I'm really struggling to see where an opening comes from. So closely matched between these two teams. The next round of National League fixtures, the weekend of the 13th and 14th of April. So just over 5 weeks until we're back here at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. In the meantime, we will have a number of WFA Cup games and the quarter-finals of the John Good Group WFA Cup set to take place at Derby Arena on the 17th of March. Villa Rockets unfortunately have been eliminated, a 3-0 defeat to Aspire last weekend. West Bromwich Albion Throstles yet to play their third round tie. That's set to take place in Birmingham next weekend, where they face Sevenoaks. The draw of the competition has been conducted today, so should West Bromwich Albion Throstles manage to progress past Sevenoaks, they will have a home tie against Premiership side Leeds Chariots. Aspire, who bypassed Villa Rockets in the competition, will play one of Sale United or Hull and East Yorkshire. Amir Ali very advanced, trying to squeeze the ball inside that left-hand post. Comes away with the corner kick. 14 minutes to go. Throstles 0, Villa Rockets 0. Cleared by Lucas Christa. Hamza Madir quickly out of his box. Has to be careful. Amir Ali is only now taken that position of the most defensive Villa Rockets player. I can show you the other scoreline for the game on Court A between Aspire and Nottinghamshire. Aspire currently boasting a 4-0 scoreline. Jonathan Davis into the centre, controlled by Lucas Christa. We have had a substitution, which I will bring you just after this passage of play. A switch up for Throstles as they look to mix things up. Oliver Rock Daniel Kay attempts an effort at goal. Amir Ali attempts an effort. John Dixon has to adjust to prevent that follow-up effort going over the goal line. Danke into the box. Just comes off the back wheel of Lucas Christa. Cleared by John Dixon. Summer Rice. Good battle between these two players. Hamza Madir just trying to prevent Lucas Christa from advancing any further. Confirmation of that earlier change and wider switch up for West Bromwich Albion Throstles. John Dixon taking the position of designated goalkeeper in place of Barris Innell, and Oliver Rock having a place in attack. And a great ball from Daniel Kay. Summer Rice tried to capitalise just off the front of John Dixon's chair. Crucial interception, starting to open up a little bit. Amir Ali. Daniel Kay. Into John Dixon. Throstles ball. Christa into Jonathan Davis. Just controlled by Daniel Kay. Final 9.5 minutes. Absolutely nothing to separate these two. As Christa dribbles close to the Villa Rockets box. Oliver Rock yet to really impose himself on the game. Too forceful from Hamza Midir in his pursuit of that ball. Oliver Rock just shakes that off. Lucas Christa looking to pass straight to Oliver Rock, closed down by Amir Ali. A second attempt from Lucas Christa, cleared by the Villa Rockets defenders. This is much better. Ollie Rock forcing an effort at goal, cleared by Amir Ali. Oliver Rock, unfortunately for him, rolls out of play. Whether or not he was looking to try and get a little nick off the Villa Rockets chair or control it, it doesn't come off. Jonathan Davis into Lucas Christa, an attempt and a second follow-up effort from Jonathan Davis, cleared by Hamza Midir. Throstles starting to impose themselves on this game, starting to find and pick their passes in attack. Christa. And Christa's going to dribble over the line out of nowhere. West Bromwich Albion Throstles, who have definitely been growing into this game, find an opener. Real mix-up between Hamza Midir and Amir Ali. That's happened on a few occasions this weekend. With 7 minutes left to be played, West Bromwich Albion Throstles assert their dominance in this game, take a 1-0 scoreline into the final quarter. And they get a substitution from Villa Rockets. We're going to try and get back into this game. Summer Rice, the player that comes off. Dan Ball, for the first time this game, enters the action. Christa down to Jonathan Davis, back to Christa, the goal scorer, over to Oliver Rock. Had the right idea, but a little bit too much pace for the Throstles number 20 to capitalise on. Daniel Kay now has Daniel Ball in support. Amir Ali to his right. Dan Ball back to Amir Ali. Controls with the front of his chair. Quickly pressured by Oliver Rock. Dan Kay. Good work. He's going to try and get Villa Rocket all the way into the Throstles half. Amy Wharton and Jack Ebanks yet to feature in this game. Dan Ball in attack. Contact between John Dixon and Dan Ball. Advantage played, and Jonathan Davis has an attempt at goal. He's going to have another go here. John Dixon very strong. And a good advantage played by Carolyn Bean. Krista. Davis to Krista. Pressured by Dan Kay. He's going to try and usher it over to Oliver Rock. Have to be careful of their placement. Nearly a 2-on-1, but advantage played. Oliver Rock didn't quite know whether to come or go in that instance. A referee eventually awards that indirect free kick as a result of that 2-on-1 infringement. Hamza Madir into Daniel Kay. Weaves left and right, trying to get past the Villa Rockets number 10. Jonathan Davis has to quickly vacate, gets a thumbs up from Carolyn Bean, and an opportunity here for Daniel Kay to potentially connect with the 180. Head in the hands of the Villa Rockets coach, Tony Kay, as he was millimetres away from potentially forcing a goal-scoring opportunity. Late substitution for Throstles sees Amy Wharton enter the action. Jonathan Davis, the player coming off. Dan Kay. Krista. Net by the Villa Rockets number 4. Daniel Kay preventing Throstles in the initial instance. Possession still with the home team. Amy Wharton for her first involvement. Hamza Madir weaving round. The Rockets have 2 minutes left to try and source an equaliser. They're yet to really trouble the Throstles defence. Created little to no opportunities. Dan Kay can't quite make connection. So Oliver Rock in possession on the left-hand wing for Throstles, the right as you're viewing it. Daniel Kay down to Daniel Ball, connected with by Lucas Krista and Amy Wharton. One of the most credible opportunities all game. Couldn't quite get the timing correct to connect with that. Otherwise, they would have surely doubled their advantage. Final minute of the weekend, barring a late moment of magic from Villa. It will be Throstles that will be taking home the 3 points. That will see them take 6 points from a possible 12, but considering they've had a very tough weekend, Hamza Madir. Really impressed with the relentlessness of Lucas Krista. Not only is he the difference on the score sheet, just certainly when playing in that central role, with John Dixon dropping back, they just have a little bit more dynamism and threat as he distributes the ball out to Amy Wharton. We've had the regulation 20, so now into any additional time that Carolyn Bean has accrued across this second half. I doubt very much. There's a little bit of contact between Wharton and Amir Ali. This has got to be the last chance they have of securing any points. Can they find an equaliser? Just flicks favourably to Amir Ali. He's going to probably let that try and roll for a corner kick. John Dixon does well to prevent it from doing so. Deep into additional time. Carolyn Bean looks at her watch. Krista has to be careful of his placement here. Won't want to give anything away into the side of Oliver Roxchair. Down the line. At least a minute or so over time here. So Villa Rockets given as much time as possible to potentially find an equaliser, but I doubt they're going to be able to. A very late 2-on-1 to West Bromwich Albion Throstles will be of the delight of their coaches. Taken by Lucas Christa. Surely the last action of the weekend. Down the line. Play still continuing, 2 minutes over. Set ball will be contested by Lucas Christa and Daniel Kay. Not quite sure where the additional 2 minutes has come from. But we're now deep into the second minute of additional time. Krista to take. Carolyn Bean with the whistle in her mouth. Surely the last kick of the game. And that it is. It finished. West Bromwich Albion Throstles 1, Villa Rockets 0. Single goal from Lucas Christa. The difference between the two, and a fantastic win for Throstles. They will be delighted with that. 6 points from a possible 12 wins against Manchester United and this against Villa Rockets. But thank you to all that have joined me across Game Week 3's fixtures. That concludes the action. Please follow our social media to keep an eye on the Team of the Weekend poll and link about to go live. Hope that you can join us for future fixtures in the Premiership division. Next up, we have the quarter-finals of the John Good Group WFA Cup set to take place on March 17th at the Derby Arena.